Welcome to our breathe, move, rest practice. In the next 25 minutes, I'm going to guide you to do just that, to breathe deep into your belly, to fill your lungs and your heart with hope, with prana. Then we'll move the body. We'll touch all of the joints and move the limbs. So, welcome. Please accommodate the practice as I offer to what you can do physically and mentally imagine. So finding a comfortable sit, perhaps you lean against the wall, perhaps you even recline to the floor. Feel the firmness of the floor, the earth, the props beneath you. And welcome your breath. As your breath steadied, maybe even slow down a bit. Finding the permission to just breathe is enough. And trust me when I say that it's not always as easy as I make it look on these videos. Some days I too, years of dedicated practice, but still, some days I too still struggle to catch my breath enough to slow down and to welcome compassion into my practice. So as we now transition from just getting comfortable with the breath, let's move into 10 rounds of 3-part or Durga breath. That's a concentration on the diaphragm to open up the belly. So the diaphragm contracts, pushes the organs down, lets the belly puff forward. Then we expand into the ribs. And on that same breath, we finally expand into the chest, getting the fullness of our lung capacity. And on the exhale, if the dexterity is there, you'll release the chest, the ribs, and then the belly. Even going so far as to engage the pelvic floor at the very bottom of that exhale. So where there's a 3-part in, maybe it's an even 4-part out. Do as much as your body and your mind can manage. Inhale. It's 1. So however many you've done so far, take one more. And let that breath control go. And then we're just focus on that pelvic floor. So inhale and soften. Exhale, engage and lift. Inhale and soften. Engage and lift. Now it doesn't matter what you're lifting, what you're engaging. Just grab whatever you can in that exterior tissue of the bottom, the tissue between where you go to the bathroom, front and back, right? And lift. Now that external tissue may be the first to respond, but as you repeat, see if you can find that internal tissue, the inner pelvic floor muscles, the piriformis being one of the dominant ones. It kind of makes a crisscross and a figure eight inside the pelvic bowl itself to activate that sense of core, strength, and stability. Good, one more time. Good, now moving into our spinal flexion and extension. I'm going to slide forward on my chair, but then also move my feet so that they're stable. Cat the back, round the chin, push the navel back, lift the pubic bone forward. And then roll on the inhale to lift the chin and open the heart. And back on the exhale. Good, two more. Good. Last one. Rising up just with shoulder circles. Now generally going up and back is the most restorative. That's not to say that you don't need to roll up and forward, but most of us have more of a nature of our habit to be here. So lifting them up and back is going to help to open up that pectoral tissue and reset the trapezius and the latissimus dorsi, the muscles that draw the shoulder blades down to keep them stable and tucked in to the back body. Good. Let's move on to our second of 3 spinal movements, and that's going to be our lateral bend. So hips rooted, support, and bow to the side, and rise. Now I like to exhale as I rise. That really taps into that pelvic floor once again. If you want a little more, you can add that top arm to swing. Good. 2 more to the side, and then I'm going to linger, maybe not to your fullest bow, but to some comfortable reach, and then swivel the head. Look down. Oh, look up. Good. Gather that breath and rise. Maybe some shoulder circles. Good. And the next side. So second side again, support, either grounding, right, hand out the hip, or grounding into the chair. And lean and rise. Build more if the coordination, if the energy, if the body responds well. Good, last one, and hold it. Swivel the head. Good, rise up and return. Now just the head, drop and rise, drop and rise. Good, one more time each side. Nice. Let's take a twist. So the opposite hand is going to cross. And then that back hand might actually reach the back of your chair or the back of your hip. Take that twist with a little bit of support, a little bit of pressure, and then unwind. Maybe only unwinding halfway. And twist again. And unwind. And twist again. Now you can stay right here with this shape, or maybe you bring your legs a little closer together, or maybe you even cross that top leg. It's going to extend that stretch down the outside of the hip. Take this 3 more times. That's 1. And 2, and 3. Good. As you come back to face forward, cross the ankle over the thigh and circle the ankle. Now, if your leg doesn't reach up this high, that's okay. Just pop it over the ankle itself. We just want to get some room to roll the ankle, right? I got some Rice Krispies in my ankles today. In reverse. Now holding the back of the leg, go ahead and just do some can-can kicks. And you can even get some creative, clever choreography, but it's not necessary. Just play with that movement. Good, and then bring the ankle back to cross. Sit up nice and tall and lean in. This should bring the stretch into the buttocks. That's the piriformis muscle. Yeah, I'm going to loosen that one up. I call it my tight ass muscle. The one that causes me to be such a tight ass. But I'm working on it. Good, 3 more breaths. Use your hands to rise. And then we're going to just step the legs. So step wide, step together, step together. Other side, step wide, together, together. Alternate. Which one leads? Just getting a little movement. Finish it out. Nice. Now we're going to come back to that twist. So notice my feet are back to neutral. Crisscross, support, exhale to twist, back off a little bit and breathe in. Exhale to twist and breathe in. Maybe you walk the feet a little closer together. Maybe you cross, leverage, and take 3 or 4 more twists. Good. You come back to face forward. Again, cross the ankle. Now, you're not going to see any movement in my ankle and foot, but I'm imagining it. Some circling of the ankle, some wiggling of the toes. And again, supporting from underneath. Lean back as far as you need to help counter the weight of your leg. And then adding any variations of that movement that feel good. Come back to that crossover. Nice and tall. Hinging at the hip, lean forward so that that stretch is in the buttocks. Nicely done. Go ahead and lift yourself back up and set that foot down. Nice. Feel a tall spine, and if you need support, go ahead and sit back a little bit. We're going to come back up to the shoulders. Good. And now go ahead and bend the elbows, maybe even bring the fingertips to your shoulders. And then check that you don't hit the wall or your chair. Just swing the arms. And if there's not room to do this both arms at the same time, just pivot. This can even be a nice place to add a little bit of a lunge. And we'll do kind of this one-handed. Right? Good. Warming up that elbow. Warming up that shoulder to extend. Come on over to the other side. Good. Right back through the center. Plant those feet, sun breath, up and over. And down through the heart. Good. As the hands come down, interlace the fingers and press the palms forward. Good. Lift it up and pull them back and down. Shoulder circle. Good. Sun breath up. Pull them down through center, interlace the fingers. Maybe this time you can even go the other way on top. Press the palms forward as you round the mat. Good, lift it up. Pull it back and down the shoulder circle. Good. One more time each way, right? So that means 2 more times. Lift it up. Bring it down. Press it forward. Good, this time one arm up, one arm down. One arm up, one arm down. Good. And back to center. Good. Final way. Sun breath up. Opposite thumb on top. So bring your hands together. See if you can bring your elbows together. If they don't reach, then just rest them on your side body. And swivel and scroll your forearm and into your wrist. And then reverse that scrolling roll. Then one hand catches the other. First, we're going to bend the fingers, right? So bending at the finger knuckles. You may not get as much movement. That's okay. And then catch the knuckles and move on down to the wrist. Notice that my elbow is still bent and being supported on my body. You can stay there, or you can start to press the heel of the hand even more forward. Good. Then the third variation is to catch the thumb, and honoring that webbing of that thumb, pull it away and press it back, but don't break the wrist. Don't collapse the wrist. Good. Let's go to the second side. Catch the fingers. Bend them back, opening up the palm. And then moving up, support at the fingers. Press the heel, keep those elbows tight or extend it long. And then release and take it to the thumb. Stretch it wide and press it back. Getting into that femur eminence. That's the flexion muscle that helps us to pinch our thumb. That opposable thumb, bringing it into the work of grasping. Good, and release. Take both hands into some circles or some flip-flop figure eights. Good. And now bring the backs of the hands together and just let the elbows drip a little bit. Good. And release. One more sun breath, up, open, wide, and high. And we take it all the way down. What does that mean? It might mean you stop with the hands at the heart. It might mean you take a forward fold and drape the head towards the floor. The hands might even hold underneath. Good. As you rise, lift from the navel. Use the hands for support. Right back into some cat and cow. Now, if you have the ability to stand, now would be a great time to practice getting up and sitting back down with grace. I am not yet fully functioning into weight bearing on this leg. So I'm going to do it once, one-legged, right? This leg is not active in this case, but you're going to lean in, press through the heel of your foot, and then shift to stand, right? And then same thing, sit, use your hands, and guide yourself back down. Good, take 2 or 3 more, rise, and lower, and rise, and lower. Well done. It's time for rest. So, I'll give you some options. One is to just find a leaning rest, right? Kind of into your chair. You could turn all the way around and straddle the chair, if that's more comfortable for you. Or, my favorite is actually to come on down and then use the chair to support this kind of upright angle. So it's really a lot like sitting in the chair, but it changes the orientation with gravity. Savasana. If you have any final shapes that you want, feel free to stretch or move. But as soon as you can, give yourself permission to just let go, to relax into the support of the prop, of the floor, of this pause. when you are ready to return to the day, to the tasks, to your living, go ahead and release yourself from the Savasana shape, and finally finding your way back to a comfortable sit. So it might be easiest to slide the feet to the front of your chair and gently slide it away from you. Okay? Sometimes for the folding chair in particular, that might collapse the chair. So you might also just roll over to your side, bring your legs with you, and then swivel on up, much like we do on our reclined postures as well. We begin again, meaning after we do our rest, we breathe again, and then we move again, and then we rest again. The movement is not always yoga. Sometimes the movement is getting the tasks done, whether it's cleaning the bathroom or doing our day's work for our job, for our employer. Breathe, move, and rest. Ask yourself, what's next? And how may I practice living well in my body, intimately with my breath, and cultivating a clearer seeing to the emotions and the thoughts that live within me? This is the path to an inspired life. It's the beginning to help cultivate that calm, abiding space for living well. Thank you so much for sharing this practice and for being here. But most importantly, thank you for honoring yourself with this practice, to breathe, to move, and to rest. May you be well. May you breathe deeply. May you move freely. May you labor lovingly. May you live vibrantly. Namaste. Have a great day. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. And even though I'm booted and recovering from surgery, this is a practice that is adaptable to whatever you've got going on. Literally the first 3 weeks I was in bed, unable to do any weight bearing, in which case my breathe, move, rest practice was in bed, laying, often just visualizing that which my body was unable to do because of the cast and the pain.